Hi there. Doing a video here talking about kind of different standard personal finance advice that people have, kind of read or been fed over the last many years that may or may not be relevant still. Like, for example, generally people are told to save 3 to 6 months of living expenses, and then we had COVID happen and people lost their jobs and were out of work for, much longer periods of time, and there was not much to be done about it. A unique scenario that kind of debunked that theory, or the idea that you only spend on school 1 year's worth of your first year's salary. And should any of these rules sort of be updated? My opinion on this is just globally a little bit different. I don't generally believe in what I call personal finance gimmicks. And by that, I mean these general quick rules that, people are fed that potentially make them feel like they're doing enough when they may or may not be. Some other, rules are like the 50-30-20 rule, or the pay yourself first rule, or the envelope budgeting rule and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I will say that I appreciate and value anything that gets someone motivated to deal with their finances and, try to make a dent in understanding them and getting a handle on them. So if that's what it takes to get you motivated, then I don't want to fully knock it. But my feeling is that there is no substitute for actually adding up how much you make and how much you spend in a given month or year or decade, and knowing the difference, knowing if you made more than you spent, that you genuinely saved money. What's the point of paying yourself first if, in order to do that, you have to rack up a large credit card debt? What's the point of having an emergency fund if, by creating it, you create more credit card debt? Like, the only way you know if you're effectively doing any of these things is by tracking your finances with some sort of software. I use Quicken, as I always say, but you can use something else, and knowing definitively how much you made, how much you spent, and how much money you spent on what. Meaning, how much did you spend on mandatory expenses like housing and utilities? How much did you spend on discretionary? And then the net result, technically, is how much you actually saved. Did you get that savings into an investment account? And is it invested appropriately according to your age and your goals? The next step in understanding your personal finances and the basics of income and expense and net income or net loss is having a plan, a long-term plan that tells you, I want to potentially retire here, and in between I have some other major expenses, largely kids' colleges are probably the biggest major expense, and or potentially helping aging parents. Considering where I want to be by when, how much I'm going to need, and what some of these giant, other expenses along the way are going to be, how much do I need to save every year? How much return does that savings need to get? And how much do I keep, having to contribute to that so that I reach the financial goal that I've put on a piece of paper, or AKA a spreadsheet? If you're not doing the work and doing the math, I don't think that these gimmicks are really going to help most people in the long run. The old adage is you can't see the forest through the trees. I think these gimmicks are just like looking at the trees and not realizing what the forest has in store for you. So that's my feeling on that topic overall. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.